Stop for a second. Before you scroll, before you skip, because what I'm about to say might explain something you felt your whole life, but never had words for. What if the most powerful thing a man can have is not money, not looks, not status, not confidence, but something deeper? Something people can feel without you saying a single word. When I was younger, I thought attraction was simple. I thought it was all about looks. High school taught me that lesson early. The good-looking guy got the girl. The tall guy got attention. The popular guy won. So I believed it. I believed attraction was genetic, that you were either born with it or you weren't. And honestly, for a while, life rewarded that belief. Out of college, I moved to Los Angeles. I was 6 feet tall, in shape, young, healthy. If you follow the internet checklist for male attraction, looks, money, status, game, looks were my strongest card. And yet, nothing happened. No momentum, no doors opening, no gravity pulling people toward me. In LA, looks didn't mean much. That city is different. Everyone is chasing something. Fame, money, recognition, validation. People are hungry there, and hunger recognizes hunger. I had no status, no money, no leverage, and because of that, the world ignored me. Not just women, life itself. I was invisible, and invisibility hurts more than rejection. Rejection at least acknowledges your existence. Being unseen makes you question your worth. I remember walking through rooms where no one noticed me, sending messages that got no replies, pitching ideas that went nowhere. I wasn't broken. I wasn't lazy. I was empty. By my 3rd year in LA, I was broke, stuck, no forward motion. And when a man loses momentum, he starts looking for answers anywhere he can find them. That's when something strange happened. NoFap videos started appearing in my feed. Back then, this wasn't mainstream. It felt underground, almost taboo. Semen retention sounded weird, extreme, even stupid. But desperation makes you open-minded. And I was desperate enough to try. I didn't expect much, but something happened. Not instantly, not magically, something deeper. It was like a dim light inside me slowly turned back on. I didn't become louder. I didn't become arrogant. I didn't suddenly become confident overnight, but I became alive. People started looking at me differently, talking to me differently, treating me differently. Even my Hollywood agent told me one day, "There's something about you, something special." And that's when it hit me. The most attractive thing about a man is not how he looks. It's how badly he wants life. Desire, hunger, the wanting. People love to say desire is bad, that it causes suffering, that you should detach from wanting anything. Maybe that sounds good in a monastery, but in the real world, desire is magnetic. The man who wants more, does more. Where do you think hustle comes from? Where does ambition come from? Where does the drive to build, to conquer, to create come from? It comes from sexual energy, the deepest fuel source a man has. And here's the uncomfortable truth no one wants to say. Most men have been killing that energy since they were boys. Since age 12, 13, 14. Through porn, through constant release, through endless stimulation. They don't even realize it. They just wake up tired, flat, unmotivated. They wonder why life feels dull, why nothing excites them, why they feel invisible. Retention didn't give me superpowers. It gave me my hunger back. And hunger changes everything. Years later, now in my late 20s, I see it more clearly than ever. This wasn't a phase. It wasn't placebo. It wasn't coincidence. Every time I return to retention, life starts responding again. Recently, I was in the gym, between boxing sets, just pacing, focused. One of the coaches texted me out of nowhere and said, "I see hunger in your eyes. You walk around like you're ravenous. You're going to go far." That message stayed with me. Because hunger is visible. You can't fake it. This year feels like a rebirth. Like I'm returning to the version of myself that didn't ask for permission. The version that wasn't polite, wasn't careful, wasn't diluted. And a big reason that version came back is because I came back to retention. Now listen closely. Here's the first thing that happens when desire wakes up again. Eye contact. I know that sounds small, but don't underestimate it. Around day 7 to 10 of retention, people start looking at you. Not glancing. Not accidental looks. Real eye contact. I notice this even more now, because I'm training for a marathon. Long runs, 3 hours sometimes. You enter a state beyond thinking. Pure effort. Pure will. And when I run through parks, bridges, public places, people lock eyes with me. Women, men, children, old people. One time, 2 girls literally tried to stop me mid-run to talk. I didn't even process it until I was already far away. Kids smile at me. Groups wave. Men nod. Women smile. It sounds unreal, but once you experience it, you can't unsee it. And here's the key difference. I don't look away anymore. My eyes don't flinch. There's intensity there. Retention changes the eyes. They become clearer, brighter, more focused. I've tested this too many times to doubt it. Desire gives your presence weight. Now pause for a second. Think about the last time you felt truly hungry for life. Not bored, not distracted, hungry. That's what people feel from you. The second thing that happens is creativity and courage. Sexual energy wants to create. Children are just one form of creation. Men are meant to build more than families. Ideas, art, businesses, movements. Women have always been the muse. This isn't shallow, it's biological. Men rise in the presence of beauty. I noticed this as a kid. Put boys alone together, chaos. Put girls in the room, suddenly they stand straighter, speak better, try harder. Feminine energy sharpens men. When you discipline yourself, instead of releasing that energy, you channel it. That tension becomes fuel. Ideas come faster. Words come easier. Courage increases. Even science supports this. Men's testosterone rises around attractive women. Retention teaches you to admire without draining yourself, to breathe desire inward instead of spilling it outward. That's power. Now listen carefully. The third thing that happens is momentum. Desire is the opposite of depression. Depression isn't sadness. It's disinterest. When you want nothing, life feels empty. But when desire is strong, fear loses power. Goals feel closer. Every financial breakthrough I've ever had came from increased hunger. Not better plans, not smarter systems, more wanting. Desire makes you grab the loose ball, work longer, push through discomfort. This is the law of attraction in motion, not passive wishing, active hunger. Napoleon Hill said sexual energy is the strongest stimulus known to man. When transmuted, it creates genius. And finally, you get luckier. Not magically, instinctively. You make better decisions. You show up at the right places. You say yes to the right things. Your vibration changes. When you combine retention with discipline, movement, focus, and effort, life starts moving again. I stepped away from this practice for years, and I can see it now. It cost me momentum. Compare my older work to now. You'll feel it. Vigor, intent, sharpness. That's desire speaking. Right now, my longest recent streak has been 25 days. Life happens. Women exist. But my direction is clear. I'm going back. Because desire is the foundation. You start here. Then you add work, training, focus, and suddenly life feels exciting again. Progress stops feeling impossible. People feel you, not because you try, but because you are alive. That is the most powerful, most attractive quality a man can have. Hunger. Protect it. Because when you do, greatness doesn't have to be chased. It comes looking for you. Here's the truth most men never admit to themselves. Most of us spend our lives chasing the wrong things. We chase validation, money, fame, women, power, and yet somehow we still feel empty. Because none of that actually fills the gap inside. There's something deeper, something raw, something primal that most men have been taught to ignore. That force is desire. And not just desire for women, not just desire for pleasure. I'm talking about the kind of desire that makes you wake up early, work harder, push longer, endure more, take risks nobody else will take. That desire is what separates boys from men. That desire is what makes the difference between being invisible and being unforgettable. When I first discovered retention, I didn't realize what I was tapping into. I thought it was just about avoiding release, about doing something extreme for the sake of discipline. But it was so much more than that. It was like turning a faucet back on inside my body. A faucet of energy, hunger, drive, focus, clarity, creativity, magnetism. Every day that I held, every day that I resisted, I could feel myself growing stronger in ways that had nothing to do with my muscles, my body, or even my face. It was internal, invisible, powerful. Something people noticed without knowing why. People could feel it. And that feeling, that magnetic pull, it's addictive. Not in the way you think, not like porn or fast dopamine hits. This is the kind of addiction that builds you. It makes you unstoppable. It makes the world respond to you differently. Women notice, men notice. Opportunities start appearing out of nowhere. You start seeing doors you never noticed before. And the funny part? You haven't changed on the outside. You're still you, but your energy is different. Your hunger is visible. Your intent is visible. Your life starts reacting to you instead of you reacting to life. I remember times when I would just go for a run, exhausted, tired, pushing my body through miles of pain, and people would stop and look at me. Not because I was trying to impress them, not because I was wearing fancy clothes or had money in my pocket. No. They looked because the energy coming off me was undeniable. The energy that says, I want more. I'm alive. I'm not satisfied with what life has given me. I'm chasing something bigger. That is the invisible power. That is the quality that cannot be bought or faked. That is desire in its purest form. And here's the secret most men don't understand. Desire is the engine of creativity. The more you want, the more you create. Sexual energy isn't just for procreation. It's the raw force behind all creation. Ideas, art, movement, business, influence. Every great man you admire has channeled his desire into creation, into action. When you suppress it through constant release or meaningless distractions, you suppress your ability to create. You suppress your hunger. You suppress your life force. But when you control it, when you hold it, when you transmute it into work, focus, and action, it becomes the most powerful fuel you could ever imagine. And it's not just theory. I've lived it. When I go for long runs, when I push through pain, when I focus on my goals, when I put everything I have into creating, I notice the difference immediately. I see people noticing me. I see women glancing, children smiling, men nodding. I see doors opening that were always there, but I never noticed, because my energy was low, because my hunger was buried under habit, under comfort, under release. That's why retention isn't about being celibate. It's not about living in denial. It's about redirecting your force, about taking what the world has been leaking from you and turning it into power, momentum, and influence. The other thing no one talks about is courage. Hunger builds courage. When desire is alive in you, fear loses its power. You start taking risks that scared you before. You start facing challenges you would have avoided. You start doing the hard things because you want it more than you want comfort. You want more than safety. You want life, raw and unfiltered. And courage is contagious. People feel it. They can sense it in your walk, in your eyes, in the way you speak, in the way you move. You don't have to tell them you're ambitious. They know it. They feel it. I've seen it in my own life over and over again. I've seen streaks where I held on for weeks, and suddenly everything became easier. My focus sharpened. My work became more productive. My ideas came faster. My body moved with more precision. My interactions became smoother. Even my social energy increased. Women noticed it first, but men felt it too. Strangers noticed it. Opportunities arrived. Everything aligned in a way that was almost supernatural. Not because I got lucky, but because my energy was aligned. Because my desire was active. Because my presence was undeniable. And that's the real trap most men fall into. They think desire is dangerous. They think wanting too much will ruin them. They've been told to be calm, polite, patient, detached. But detachment without purpose is dead energy. It's like turning off the engine of your life. Desire isn't dangerous. Mismanagement of it is. If you learn to harness it, if you learn to direct it, if you learn to channel it into creation, action, and discipline, it becomes unstoppable.